All right, that was super fun to play over. I'm not gonna lie. Let's take a listen to the track. I improvised it in the studio. That's just how I work. That's how I operate. I have to improvise. So I improvise in the studio. I'm gonna take a listen to the track. We're gonna pull some little nuggets, Bela moments of inspiration, and I'm gonna break down what's behind that, give you a look behind the curtain. Let's do it. All right, that is prime picking right there for the Bela inspiration. What you hear me do is a series of sequence, triadic kind of things, and I'm gonna frame this out in the key of E. This kind of idea I use all the time, and I definitely got it from Bela. And it's like these ascending kind of arpeggios, right? But it's not like arpeggios like we think of when we think of like, you know, Ralph Macchio beating the devil in Crossroads arpeggios. Not that kind of thing. So let's talk about it. We're in the key of E. It's going to sit over the A chord. I'm going to frame it like it's kind of an A major 7 thing. Let's take that much of it, right? Take a little bitty dose of it. And I'm going to take 2 notes. Now we're going to go on up. And now we're going to go go back down to the root. There's the E chord. Let's go back down to root. And then we're going to go up to that C sharp. Now watch the right hand in this, okay? This is an interesting thing that is deceptively difficult because the reason is we have strings. We either like to play on the outside of the strings or the inside of the strings. This is going to require you jumping in and out of the string sets, not randomly, but not in a sequence fashion. Like when we like 3s, we like 1, 2, 3, new string, 1, 2, 3, or 6s, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Next string, same thing, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If you look, same thing every time. This is going to require you to jump in and out. This is the most important thing that I lifted from Bela, and I was so young that I didn't realize what I was stealing until I got older and started like reverse engineering my playing, right? So let's check it one more time. Now we can, once we got the technique under our right hand, we should be able to do it in bigger chunks. Let's maybe take that on up. Let's instead of using that C sharp, let's use a E flat. That kind of thing. Right? How cool is that? Now we could slide up with our pinky and descend down another one. That kind of line right there, okay? You see how I connected this arpeggio to this, right? You could end it there. Another way you could do it, let's take an E major 7 right here. And then we can work it all the way up. Let's take the same pattern. Now we're going to start on 5. Right? Or we could do it here. Oh yeah, sorry. Or we could do it here. This is a very Bela kind of thing where there's a repeating pattern happening and the top note is changing. The reason that's very Bela and banjo in general is because their top note is actually in their thumb, and the banjo, the highest string, is physically the lowest, the closest to you, right? So a lot of those kind of things, those are very Bela inspired. Let's take another pattern. Let's take that maybe down here. Very, very Bela Fleck inspired. And when I'm combining single note lines, something like, You see in that, I played a lot of E major. And then I combined a arpeggio, quick arpeggio. And that's kind of a cool shape I've been using a lot, where it's like I've got B, C sharp, E right there. And I'm using that cross-picking kind of mutated mutant Andy Wood thing that actually has got its origin point in Bela Fleck, right? Let's take a listen to a little bit more of the track, grab another nugget. Oh, yeah. So there's a couple of great Bela moments in there. I can't help but smile because I just know exactly where I got these things. So let's take one of my favorite things that happened, a happy accident in this track, is this type of idea. That is a definite Bela 101 thing. It's like a banjo-inspired roll that's got some mutating in the time field, right? So let's take a really simple version. I'm going to teach you the technique first, and then I'm going to teach you some of the harmony that go with it. Let's take an A chord played out of this C position. There's A right there. See it? All right, right there. Okay. Now let's take, I'm going to roll my gain down here so you can kind of really hear what's happening. That should do it right there. Okay, so now we're going to walk up, down, in the triad. And then I'm going to use my middle finger to play that top one. Got 4-string kind of roll. So down, middle, down, up, down, middle. Right? Isn't that cool? I mean, I hear that sound in my head, and I don't even think about it being a guitar thing. I'm just like, oh man, I'm a banjo player now. I'm just doing banjo stuff, you know? So let's take that one more time. You gotta remain relaxed. I can't stress that enough. I feel like I say that in every video. I'm just like, you gotta be relaxed. You gotta be relaxed. Gotta feel good. I was laughing around with the engineer. He is talking about one of the things my granddad always told me. He said, it's gotta look easy. It's gotta feel easy. It's gotta be something you just go to the shelf, get off the shelf, put into your playing. And if you have any kind of pain or awkwardness, you need to change something. Change your grip strength. Change, if you're moving your fingers too much, lock your fingers down. If you're moving from your shoulder, play more from your wrist. It's gotta feel good, okay? It's gotta feel comfortable. So when I'm playing this, one of the things I start doing is I start messing with that time field. And maybe I go all the way up and I start it all over again. Do you hear how I'm going up, down, up, down, up, up, down, up, right? Let's do it again. Right? Now let's put that in context. Now, once you got the technique in your right hand, you can start enjoying some of the more luscious harmonic offerings we have. And let's take one. Let's take a sus2, A sus2. Right? And now we can move it to A, to E. And then we can take A, major 7. All right? Let's do it down here. You could start jumping them around. Really have yourself a delightful time messing around with some of this stuff. Here's a sus2 voice that I use, and then an A, and then that Lydian, because that's a nice build, right? I hear that melody in my head. Right? That kind of muted staccato-y thing when you're phrasing it, it sounds so cool and it reminds me of banjo. Now there's one more little nugget that I played that probably sounds like a mandolin player thing, and I guess in a sense it is, but Bela would do these beautiful rolls, and it sounded like a trill. It sounded like a mandolin player on a trill. I had to put it in on this solo. You heard me do it. It's like... Now, if you listen to Eddie Van Halen or watch Eddie Van Halen, he holds the pick in his middle finger like this and releases. I actually do those trills a lot more like a mandolin player. And it's because I kind of want almost a time feel with it. I want it almost metric, not random at all. If you could tell, that's like, you take a couple of pieces of that and grit it out and it'd look normal on a session. So when I send it up, I didn't do anything but just walk up some diatonic stuff, build some tension. Right? You see what happened? Where I started on intervals that weren't the obvious intervals. So when you have A, most people would start like on one of those chord tones. I start on this again with that Lydian kind of thing. And then when I build up, right? That sounds nice, man. So that's definitely a couple of key moments that I lifted from Bela within that. All right, so for me to not be a banjo player, it's pretty astounding at how much music and how much influence I've had from Bela Fleck. He is one of the world's greatest musicians. He's taken banjo to a place that I don't even think people could fathom before he came here and started playing. He is one of the greatest that I've ever heard, and it's amazing at what the banjo community has done since Bela. But more importantly, it's amazing what Bela has given me and what I've been able to lift from him and bring to the electric guitar and put some distortion behind it, have some fun with some of those ideas. So thank you, Bela.